Okay, and welcome back, guys, for International U.S. Virgin Islands Chess, guys, and we are back to the playlist with your operator and your host, Colin Heim. Guys, I got a real special game today. This is a game from the Advanced Lichess playlist. This was a rapid game, 10 plus 5 second increment on Lichess. In this game, I was rated somewhere around 2200, and my opponent, Chess Master Tall number 33, was rated around 2146. Okay, so this was a very serious game, guys. If you take a look at this game, right, you should have a basic knowledge of opening repertoire. This game is going to be a Rui Lopez. So let's get right into the game, guys. Let's start right now immediately. E4, E5, Knight F3, Knight C6, the Rui Lopez Spanish game. And this is the most theoretical line in modern chess, and it has become the most theoretical line in modern chess and one of the most mainstream openings. And that has been like that for quite some time. So guys, we have Knight to F6 played by my opponent, and this is known as the Berlin defense. Okay, so I went for the main line, D3, Bishop C5. This has been played at the Carlsen level, the Super GM level. After Bishop to C5, I played the move short castles, D6, and Knight to C3. So guys, this is exactly what we're looking at here. This game is so well known because we have the pawns here that mirror each other, we have the knights that mirror each other, we have the bishops on the same row, and after Knight to C3, typically we see the move just bishop after H6 and Knight to A4, while we saw bishop to B6. And guys, there is a game played here after C3, which is the move that I played in the game just to solidify the center and short castles. Guys, this game has been played at the Super GM level. It says, according to Lichess, that this game was played by Linear Dominguez Perez, who is a former Cuban grandmaster. Now he plays for the United States of America. He had this game in February of 2019. So about 3 years from today's month. Right now we're in the month of February, guys, if you're joining us. So this game was played. Topalov had the black pieces. Veselin Topalov, former world championship challenger to Garry Kasparov in the early 2000s, or the late 90s, I think it was. Anyhow, Veselin Topalov had the black pieces in this game, and he played this line, and Linear Dominguez Perez was rated about 2,739 FIDE classical, and Veselin Topalov was rated about 2,740, one FIDE rating point higher in classical chess than Linear. Okay, so the game continued, and this line was also played after castles, guys. We see knight captures on b6, and this was the line, and a captures now on b6. Well, guys, there's another Super GM game that was played at this level. At this point of the game, 9 moves in, and the move played by Peter Svidler with the white pieces was just h3. Okay. So this was played by Peter Svidler, a very serious 8-time Russian world grandmaster of chess, and a very respectable, humble human being and a great guy. He won this game against former world champion Vladmir Kramnik, who was rated 2,770, a very serious rating. This game happened in the year 2004, in the month of in the month of July. Okay. Alright, so h3 was played in that game, guys, and that was not our game, but instead I just decided to capture on the c6 square. Well, this is considered by the Lichess Stockfish engine 14 plus to be a slight mistake in inaccuracy. Okay, so this is not something that the engine looked upon with favor. However, let's continue with what happened in the game. So guys, I played the move rook to e1, which is standard, rook to e8, and there were still some games in the database that were found like this. And then after c7, c6, and a4, this is actually still a known game, and all these lines that were played, bishop to e6 and queen to c2, at this point, after bishop captures on c6, guys, there's no mistakes given by the engine in these lines. Okay, so queen to c2 is what I went for. Guys, I want to start expanding here on the queen side. I just have to get my pieces properly sorted out. Okay, so g4. g4 makes white slightly weaker in this position. Well, guys, find a better move for your host and your operator. Guys, on move 16, find a better move for white in this position. Can we find a better move for white? Well, guys, just b4, okay? Instead, I played g4 and allowed d5. I captured on d5, and then I played b4, which is better for black, okay? So let's just take it back. If instead of g4 in this position, I take it back and go b4, okay, the engine says that white is slightly better, okay? So now if black does decide to take, well, there's bishop takes. And if c5 is played, well, I could just go back to d2. I would like to go back to d2 in this position, and this is completely even. The only difference is that white has the potential for a pass pawn, and I like white in this position because white still has the a pawn and black does not, and this would have been a much better line for myself. Instead of g4, again, guys, just b4. And if black does not decide to take in this position and black wants to play another move, maybe like knight to g6 or something else, maybe a rook move, maybe rook from f to b8, or even rook to a7, looking to double up on the a file. Well, guys, in this position, I'm just going to push here. And now if takes, takes, takes and takes, white wins the a file, and white is doing better. Okay, white is slightly better. Okay, good stuff, guys. So g4, let's go with what I played, and d5. C takes on d5, c takes on d5, and now b4, as we mentioned previously. So b4 earlier would have been stronger. g4 doesn't really make that much sense, but I played it anyway. Queen to d6, b takes on c5, knight takes on c5, and bishop to b4 now, skewering the queen, skewering the knight to the queen, and this is a pretty decent position. It's not a horrible position. White's doing pretty well. White's the one calling the shots in the center of the board, and on the queen side as well. Okay, so d captures on e4 was played by my opponent. Now, guys, find the best move for white in the position. Yeah, you guys can take a look at the notation below with the fret space engine there, but you know, try to find it on your own. Maybe set this up over the board and try to find the best move for white. Well, undoubtedly, guys, the best move is just to capture. D captures on e4, and this is what I played. And my opponent went queen to d3. Now, guys, my opponent was very high rated. He's rated over 2,200 in 3 different time controls. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe he's not a title player and he's not mastered, but he's definitely a strong chess player, right? So I thought to myself, if queen to d3, well, I think this does give up some initiative. And to myself, I was thinking this has got to just be a drawing line. Okay, guys, so can we see how the line plays out now after queen to d3? So we're 22 moves in, guys, okay? Guys and girls, queen to d3, 22, and queen captures on d3. I don't have a choice, really. If I try something, obviously, like bishop captures, queen captures, and then that just loses the game, okay? I lose my queen, and that's all she wrote. So it's a forced exchange. I have to take it. Not only do I have to take it, but it's also better for white here. Okay, guys, so after knight captures on d3, right, there's no sense in moving the bishop. The best move is rook to b1, and this is exactly what I found, rook from e to b1. Now, guys, in this position at move 24, I was actually in time trouble. I only had about maybe 3 minutes left on the clock, and my opponent had about an extra minute or so. So I was getting a little nervous. I really wanted to win this game, or at least draw with white. This was a rated rapid game, 10 plus 5 second increment on Lichess. Okay, so guys, let's get into the middle game here now as it transitions into the end game. So rook from e to b1 was what I played. Guys, rook from e to c8. And now this special move, bishop to d6. Guys, bishop to d6 is excellent. It looks like it's going to be maybe winning for white. We see the case of the b6 pawn. We see the case of the e5 pawn. Now there's a double attack from the bishop as well as the knight on f3. So in this position, I was kind of looking upon my advancement, my initiative with glee, right? I was very pleased with myself at this point. However, my opponent said no, no, no. And at first I saw rook to c2 and I thought, wow, okay, he's attacking the f2 pawn. He's got his rook at the back at the second rank now. At the 7th rank for him. For me, it's my 2nd rank because I'm playing with white pieces. Guys, find the star move in the position for white. It is the only move, and the engine says that this is the only move as well, guys. Can you guys find it? Maybe without looking at the notation. ISV International, can we find this? Great tactic. Well, it took me about 30 seconds to make, and I had about a minute left on the clock at this point. And guys, the move is just knight to e1. Okay, knight to e1 is great. This forces an exchange of knights because now we notice that there is a double attack on the rook that got developed to c2, as well as the knight on d3. So guys, in this case, black is forced to captures. And in this position, my opponent played the move f6. I played the move rook from e to b1 now, which is best. One of the best moves. Rook to d1 was also good. But this goes after c6 again, which is the main focus and the main weakness of black's camp. White has a better a-pawn, like we said, and black does not have an a-pawn, so this should be good. Okay, so my opponent played rook to a6. I played bishop to e7, and bishop to e7 is not a mistake. The engine says it's fine. It's probably just like an okay move. Rook to d2, now attacking f2. Well, I don't really have to play f2 in this position, guys. Instead, I could just play maybe bishop to b4. But instead, I played the move f2. Again, I was in time trouble, and I was getting a little nervous at this point. I thought that it would just be best to keep my pawns against these black pawns here on the king side. Guys, I thought my pawns would do better. 4 versus 4, everything's defended. No rook can really capture. Now, if the rook decides to go to this square and attack on f2, well, I could just step my king up and life can continue. Okay, so my opponent played the move bishop to d7. I played rook from rook to d1, and this skewers the bishop. So in this position, my opponent captured the a4 pawn. Now I want you guys to find now the best move for white in the position. Which rook do we take? We have to take something, right? Which rook do we take, right? Guys, I know this is going to sound really strange, and we're not supposed to take the a rook, and we're supposed to take this rook. But let's continue with what happened. Okay, this is what happened in the game. Yeah, rook takes on e2, and now rook takes with check. Okay, so I played king to f2. Now my opponent played bishop to b5. I threw a check, rook d8. Bishop to d6. Rook to a6 now, defending the c6 pawn. And after rook to b8 and king to e6 now, attacking the bishop. Well, the best move is bishop to c7, and after king to d7, bishop takes on b6. And guys, it was in this position that both players just agreed to a draw, and that was going to be the end of it. Well, the reason is, guys, because after the rook defends here, I'm not supposed to move my rook at all, and I'm not supposed to move really anything at all, except just take the rook. So that wins. Okay, so I can't play that. If I'm black, I can't play that. Okay, so yeah, the game was drawn, guys. At this point, perhaps maybe there were some winning chances for me here. All in all, a very decent game, and I think a draw was probably what both players deserved. Maybe I could have gone on to win this, but both of us were in time control with only a couple seconds left on the clock, maybe like 10 or 20 seconds, I mean, and that was the end of it. Okay, guys, so we went over a Rui Lopez today with a rated Lichess game over 2,200, which was pretty decent. I mean, it's a decent level game, right? Let's go over the moves again one more time. e4, e5, knight f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5. Guys, it helps to say the lines, right? I know in chess we don't always want to focus on the algebraic notation. Sometimes we want to just move pieces and not have to worry about the numbers and the letters and the algebra and the logarithms that are involved in chess, right? And the exchanges and all the numbers that we use in chess. Sometimes it's fun to just move the pieces, but guys, I I do this so that you guys can hear it, so that you guys can practice on your own. When you say the move orders in your head, it helps you visualize where the pieces are on the board, and it gives you a better sense of how to prepare for these main line openings when you guys face them in tournament chess, or if you decide to face them in tournament chess, if you guys are excited enough to play tournament chess at a high level and you want to succeed, right? My videos are also intended for you guys to have fun. I try to make them as entertaining as possible by making a joke here or there, or speaking about prior games that I've had in FIDE tournaments in the Virgin Islands, and giving my 2 cents, if you will, or about the games that I've played and the opponents that I've played against, and guys that we have and girls that we have that have competed already and gone for their FIDE ratings norms. Guys, thank you so much for participating and watching today. Colin Heim, operator, U.S. Virgin Islands International Chess, and we will be back with much more in the future, guys. This was the Rui Lopez Berlin defense, and this was a high-level line, and you guys did a great job if you guys got through this. This was a very complicated technical game, as it's been played at the highest level, H3, C5, and let's get much more in the future. Let's play more chess in the future. And you guys do great at your online chess and over the board chess, and we'll see you guys on Saturdays and casual chess during the week coming up very shortly. And see you guys on the other side of the chessboard as usual. Out of here, guys. Bye-bye.